Is this right? Yeah. I don't know, man. I'll try this time. I'm gonna try this time. This is a the vertical version, right? I mean, not vertical, the horizontal. I normally do the vertical live, and I don't know. Let's see. All right, I'm not sure. Let me hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Let me see what's going on here. Let's check it out. All right, so today, guys, we're going to be checking out a Royal Shampooer, and I've worked on this one time. On one time, I think I was just doing a diagnostic, so I don't have a lot of experience with this. So you let me know if you guys have seen this before, okay? And before I do that, I just let me take this out of here. Let me take this out of here. Hope your morning is doing good. Hope your morning is fantastic. Hope your morning is fantastic. Okay. I just have to get this last piece. There are certain parts on machines, right? Like, because I work on them, I know this thing. I know this thing. These things. These things. I know these things, right? Because there's certain parts that break and they don't sell at all. And to try to find it is like a pain in the ass, you know? So, like, think about a Dyson, like a part like this, a little part like this, right? You know what? I probably should get a 3D printer. Someone told me that. If I get a 3D printer, I can, like try to replicate parts that it's not being sold, but it's needed, if you really want to service your customer properly. But a little part like this, I could see someone with a 3D printer making these. It's just that, you know what? It's the price. It's a price point. It's like, if the 3D printer guy is going to charge, I don't know, let's say he charged $50 for this. It wouldn't make any sense. When, if I was buying it at a wholesale price, let's say this was a real thing, maybe I would have purchased it for maybe $7 or something, maybe $10, who knows, right? And it will probably retail for about $15 to $19, maybe, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if the cheaper things get, who knows, man. Look, I'll be honest. I can see a service out there. Maybe it's already existing out there, where guys would just offer services for people to just like print whatever they need. Maybe they get so sophisticated that they can instantly design it and get it back to you by the next day, 2 days later, or whatever. I can see that working. Guys need a part for their car, a part for their vacuum or whatever, a part for their refrigerator that it's an odd part that is just not being sold. And it's like, listen, can you make this for me? You know what I'm saying? I could see that happening. I could see that happening. I think that would be so cool. Just a service like that. Like, think about when we thought about drones, right? And the idea of drones making deliveries and stuff like that. And it kind of seemed clumsy and complicated. Like, you know what, drones, they're going to have drones flying all over the place, crashing into each other, trying to, because think about the amount of delivery cars that are on the road right now, right? And most of them, they have multiple packages. So for you to get a drone delivery, right? I mean, what's the drone doing? Taking one package, how many miles away to drop it off to come back? I don't know. But anyway, it's just a thought. Let me take a look at this Shampooer, man. It came in, and it's not for repair. It's like, look, this is not for anyone. This is really just for the audience. This is totally just for me making a video. And like I said, I'm trying it a different way. You know, I get more audience when I'm doing the vertical, but then when people do go back and watch it later, it's just a tiny little screen, right? And then everything else is black. And I'm like, ah, man, that's not good. So I'm really at a crossroad right now as to what to do with that. But anyway, I'm gonna put on my favorite gloves here because I'm gonna be messing with kind of a funky, dirty unit. Well, dirty for sure. Funky, I'm not sure. We'll find out. Yeah, it's a Royal Shampooer with an auto mix. And I don't see these often. So somebody out there have one of these. Okay? Let's slide some of this back. I don't want it to kind of interfere with the rest of this. So let's see what it looked like. Yeah. Okay. So this bad boy is going to have to be cleaned up. I really don't want to mess around with this. And believe it or not, I know it's counterproductive in a way because I've done this before and then tried the unit out and then it sucked. It didn't do, and I spent all that time cleaning it. But I just have a thing about working on a machine that's too dirty. Okay? Sometimes I've already started, and by the time I got in there, then all of the dust comes out, and it's too. I'm like, ah, damn, you know. But when I look at it, I'm already like, okay, this thing needs to be cleaned. All right. So even though it's best to test it and do all that stuff first, I really don't even want to mess with this until it's cleaned off a little bit. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of spray. Where's my spray, man? It was just right here. A little spray. I mean, I have a cleaner, but I don't have the spray tap. And I had one here just now. Oh, here it is. So you have the other one. A little awesome. Guy that installed my AC told me that, you know, if you want a good spray cleaner, he says, get this one, man. It's at the dollar store. So I was like, bet. I'll check it out, you know. All right, so let me try to wipe this down first. Okay, try to wipe this down first, man. Yuck, yuck. See that? Okay. Yeah, so like I said, and I'm using the horizontal live feature, and the vertical live, I normally would have, you know, a bigger audience, and I'm trying to see, but I don't like the display. I don't like the YouTube display on the vertical. When watching it when it's not on mobile, when you're just watching it, even if it's on mobile, but if you're not watching it in the shorts section, it comes up a little lacking in the display, you know. I don't know. I'm not even know. I don't know if I'm explaining it properly. So I just want to wipe this down a little bit, man, and just a little so we can explore it some more. All right, so let's see what we have here, okay? How does this unit work? What makes it function the way it does? And is it even effective, you know? I mean, it should be, as long as it's scrubbing the carpet, honestly. As long as it's scrubbing the carpet and it's throwing out solution, it's doing the job, okay? What makes a clean one better than the other? I'll tell you. One, you want good suction and a good seal. A lot of the motors on shampooers are the same. A lot of them. If they're small shampooers, okay? And when I mean the same, I mean the amperage, the power, watt, all of that stuff is fairly the same. 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. Monroe Vacuums, I can help you. Yes, Monroe Vacuums, I can help you. Oh, I'm doing fine. How are you? How can I help? Oh, no, you got the wrong number. You got the wrong number. This is a business. Yeah, yes, a vacuum. We do vacuum repairs. Yeah. trying to, they're calling about my property in Gastonia. I'm like, come on, man. That's their opening line, huh? Some people wouldn't even give them the day, you know, because there's a delay. There's a delay, and then after the delay, they come on, and it's like, you never know what it is. Because I never know. Sometimes I have people that call, they need assistance, people to type as they're trying to speak or something like that. So I don't want to just like, spam call, click, because as a business, I don't know. Okay. So anyway. So now all I did with the shampoo. So what I'm saying is, if a shampoo has a good motor, good suction, they're all going to be on the same baseline. So you have the minor machines, medium machines, commercial machines, right? The next thing is going to be the brush. Like, how is it agitating the carpet? If it's weak, then you're going to have an issue. Okay, if it's weak. Also, if it's too light, if the cleaner is too light, what's the best way to put it? The weight of it. Okay, I'll give you an example. If you're using the wands, the old school wands, right? I use this as the wand. And you're doing those wands, right? Two things are happening. You're spraying the water, hot water, into the commercial carpet. Then you're pressing down and you're pulling back, right? Because you want that seal, right? If you are using a big green machine, the weight of the big green or the rug doctor is already there, right? So weight is important, because if it's too light, it's not going to touch the carpet enough. So when you're buying a shampooer, consider these things. That's kind of the section of my video I'm doing right now. So it's a little bit of a trade-off. If you want a light machine, you're going to have probably less of contact. It's going to be kind of feathery. So when you're pushing it back and forth, the nozzle kind of pop off the carpet a little bit. It's not going to kind of sit, because you need it to sit so that suction can zero in and suck up the water. Okay. Unfortunately, the heavier machines are going to kind of sit better. Okay, good. All right, next. So one, am I getting a lightweight machine, small one, medium, which is probably where most people are, and then, well, unfortunately, a lot of people go for the cheaper shampooers for price-wise. But you know what I'm saying. I'm talking, if you want to get a good shampoo, go in the medium section, all right? Then the next step is going to be the brush rolls. And if you have a double brush, positive. Single brush, you just want to make sure you have a firm belt that can give it that good spin. And just if it's a jet cleaner, like with a pump, versus a gravity cleaner, that makes kind of a difference in the water distribution, okay? And maybe the speed and how you clean, okay? A jet is gonna allow the water to kind of shoot out faster, a pump, versus the gravity, which is kind of trickles down into the carpet. So you may have to slow it down when you're using those kind of machines to shampoo your carpet, okay? All right, so, just tiny little tips on that. All right, and just for anyone that uses a plastic container, to put water in, avoid hot water. Okay, that's it. Avoid hot water. Warm, lukewarm tap water maybe is fine, but when you start boiling water, I saw a TikTok where the person was boiling water and then pouring it in the bottle, and I'm like, no, no, don't do that, because the bottle will do this. You know what I'm talking about, the bottle will start to deform, okay? And the moment that happens, it affects how this part of the part that sits, Oh yeah, my name, the name's coming is not going. The gasket, let me see if we have one here. The gasket, oh my God, why can't I get the name out of my brain? You know what I'm talking about though? Okay, it sits on the auto receiver or it sits on the reservoir, this section. And if this warps any bit, if it goes like this a little, that's a tiny bit, it can knock it off track and the water doesn't release. And it may look good. It just doesn't work. So let's examine this a little bit more, guys. Hopefully those tips, if I can help you with anything else, guys, make sure that you just put a question in the comment in the chat. If you like these gloves, you can check out the chat. They're called Venom Steel gloves. Okay, very good gloves. All right. Okay, here we go. Let's check this bad boy out. Okay, I'm gonna plug you in. I'm not gonna. No. There's some more cleaning to do. Yeah, I don't want to go in here. All right, let's see. Let's release this thing. I'm gonna push back. Okay, so it looked like in order for me to release it, let me tilt this down. Let me tilt this down. Yeah, maybe the vertical would be better. But let's see if I can tilt it down. Can I tilt it down? Damn it. Can I tilt it down? Yes. Yeah, that's decent. That's decent. Okay, there's a release tab right here. It's gray. Can you see it? This, all right? So when I push this back, I can lift this up. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not excited about the brush. That's my personal opinion on it. I'm not excited about it. I actually like the Bissell brush more, personally. I'm gonna tell you why. It's just now it may be harder to clean, but I like the Bissell brush more. Let me see if I can find a Bissell brush. I can show you what I'm talking about, and then I'll compare the two. It's the teeth. It's the bristles. The teeth. Did I say teeth? It's the bristles. The bristles. Bristle. The bristles. Gosh, where's the Bissell brush? Oh, come on. Okay, 5, 4, 3. I'm running out of time. 2. All right, you know what I'll do? I'll get a Bissell off the floor. Okay? I'll get a Bissell off the floor so you can see what I'm talking about. God, I have to lift up this. So I had to brush this here just like a minute, yesterday. This is what I mean. See all of these brushes here? Okay, see the way they're set up? When I said they're harder to clean, that's also what I mean, okay? But as for cleaning, I prefer these over this. Let me show you. Okay? You know, that's just my personal preference when it comes to the brush, okay? But this is an easier brush to clean. How's that? It is easier to clean. All right? So, my bias right now make me feel like this is not as aggressive with the carpet as that would be. That's just my personal bias right now, okay? All right, so let's see what else we're dealing with here. I'm gonna have to clean that nozzle, which I really don't want to do. Okay, this is simple enough. Look at that. That's not that bad. So I can just wipe this down real quick. See that? That's not bad, right? It seems simple enough, okay? So let me just kind of spray a little bit around here. Kind of get this wiped down a little bit. I like using a toothbrush if necessary, you know, so if I get to where I gotta really scrub something out, I'll just kind of do that. All right. Okay. Listen, let me ask you guys a question, right? I don't want you to get me wrong here, okay? I don't want you to get me wrong. This is just talking while we're in the shop, you know, like people in the shop is standing, working, talking with each other, you know what I mean? So let's just look at it like that. We're in the shop talking, shop talk, okay? So help me understand. And I kind of know why, but I prefer to ask. Help me understand why it's so much more work today to do gentlemanly things for ladies that you were trained to do or conditioned to do as a child, like opening the door, right? Lady comes in. A lot of the older customers don't mind. A lot of customers my age and younger just say my age and younger. It's like I'm forcing them to allow me to carry the machine to the car or take it out the trunk or open the door. It's like it's an insult. And it's weird. It's very weird, okay? I'm here. I have my both of my boys grew up. I just finished cleaning this. Both of my boys pretty much grew up in my, around my business and watching me interact with customers. And, I would say, hey, Ethan, get the door. Hey, Emmanuel, help Mrs. Johnson with the machine to the car. And then after a while, they just expect that this is what you do, right? So I'm here constantly trying to teach the boys, he's got to be a gentleman. It's not about being a male chauvinist, okay, nothing like that. It's just my belief of what guys do, okay? So it's just so weird, man. It's very weird. So while my boys here, I'll say, Mrs. Johnson, please just allow me to be a gentleman here. And my boys were at it, and I'm just showing them, And so I keep having to explain myself. I'm like, what am I doing? Why do I have to explain why I want to carry this machine for you? It's so strange. I got the nicest people in the world that come do business with me and watch my shows, of course, right? So I'm not talking about you guys. And it's not that they're not nice folks. It's just that something shifted in the expectation, the cultural expectation, that just seems a little odd. And maybe I'm just too old school for that. Maybe I'm just too old school for that. But I don't know, man. It should be a natural instinct, and maybe it isn't. It's probably not, because little boys would go first, right? They don't care. They just want to win. And then their parent, their dad, or mom or somebody would tell them, Tommy, let Susie go first or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's taught and it's not natural because little kids don't care. Like, give it to me first, Oh man. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe somewhere we stop teaching the kids that, or maybe it's what we're teaching the girls. Like we're teaching them, you gotta be, you're independent. You gotta be doing stuff. It could be that, which is not Anyway, I'm going off in a tangent. All right. So I'm not going to really open this right now, guys. I'm not going to mess with this much on the inside of this dirty water tank. I don't like, you know what I mean? You want it to kind of flush out, but it is what it is, right? So this is a dirty water tank. And I guess this is where you empty all of your solution. Let me see. Yep. Look how you empty it out the side here. I want to see if this thing works pretty good. Now, the clean water tank, or the solution tank, I think you take it off from here. All right. And it looks like your solution. No, this is the water. I think this is just the water itself. So you fill it up to here. Okay. And then the solution, which this thing has solution in it. Does it have solution in it? No, it don't. It just looked blue. Is it stapled to this thing? Okay, it's inserted. All right. So there's an insert. Let me move this stuff out the way so you can see it. there's an insert right here, like a tube. So you can pull it apart. Just be careful. So if it doesn't come out easy, get a flat head like this and just kind of, ay caramba. Well, all right then, fine. You can just take it out of here. You see, I told you I don't know this thing, right? You could just, yeah, okay, well, great. You could just take it out. You could just insert it and pop it out. Fantastic. But if you had to take this little piece off, you use a flat head and just kind of pry it off, okay? All right, so this could be sprayed up here. This is a little dirty too. Okay. All right, I'm gonna make this available to somebody who want it. Maybe somebody who watched the channel, if they contact me, if it works and they want it, maybe they were a collector or something. There's a lot of people that like to do these machines. Just take note of the date, guys, because if it's been too long, I may not have it, but you can always try to contact me, email if you want one of these. If you want it, I don't have more than one. If it works, of course, and if you want it. I'll just have it here and just say, hey, Wayne, man, I'm passing through Monroe. I want to get it, pick it up, and I'll let somebody have this if it works. Because I'm not going to sell it. This is not something I would sell. All right? This is really just like, this is just for inquiry's sake. If somebody actually want this and they're passing through. I wouldn't say take a plane flight to come to Monroe to get this, okay? All right, so let's see. All right, so let's do something. I'm gonna put some water in here. All right, so I got this little thing up. I filled it up earlier because I didn't want to keep having to leave you guys. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. I already see something I don't like, but it's it may not be a big deal because this is not where the water is coming from. It's where the water is being poured. You see this little dent right here or whatever this is? So yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. The water is coming out the bottom, so that may not have nothing to do with nothing, okay? And it tightens, so, okay? It tightens, no problem. All right, but the water's coming out of here. So what you need to check for, is if I press this, does the water come out? So I'm gonna press it right now. I'm gonna step away. Okay, good. So the water comes out, great. Some solution. Let me see if the solution thing works. So what I'll do, I have a little sample solution somewhere. Let me do that. Let me get some sample solution. Yeah, I got some little samples. We give these out to customers. All right, so let me pour some in here. All right. Okay, cover this back. All right. And then I'm gonna do the insert. Great. Slide it up. This seems simple enough. All right. And then pop this in. Fantastic. What's next? All right. So I want to see if this brush actually turns. Okay, guys. So I don't think there's a sensor on here that will turn the brush off. I don't know yet. Let's see. All right. Let's see if the brush is turned first before we do anything. Well, let's see if the machine turns on. How's that? Okay. All right. Let me move everything out the way. I don't want to mess anything up. So to make sure the camera can see, right? I'm going to turn it this way. Look at that. See that? Ah, nice. All right, so up here, sure, let me turn it around. Let me let you see what the deal is. Up here now, we have off and on, right? Off and on is here. We have the soap to release the soap, and we have to turn on the brushes. So I'm gonna turn it on, guys. I wanna see if the brush will move if it's in the upright position, okay? That means it's not reclined or anything, because if that's the case, then there's either a bar that, I don't think so. This is in place. These brushes are not moving for nothing. So there's a micro switch. Let's see. Let me turn it on first. Okay, see that? All right, so it turned on. The brush is not moving, but the brush, it has a brush button. So the brush then is powered by a motor. So there's a brush motor, okay? I have to assume then there's a brush motor, okay, that turns the brush when you hit that switch. So let's see if it does it. Okay, so now I hit the switch, the brushes didn't move, then my next guess is that there's a micro switch that the brush will move when I recline it. So right now, right, I turn it on. I think that's the floater. That is the floater. That was the floater right there. The floater just closed the door. Well, all right, so let me see if you can still see it. All right, you can see it right there. Right there's good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to recline it and see if it turns on, okay? Here we go. Hold on. I'm just trying to move the floater real quick. There it is. All right, and then fine. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put on the nozzle and see if the nozzle has anything to do with it. It shouldn't, but you never know. Now, if I do that and I think I'm right, I'm correct. If I do that, guys, and the brush is not turning, the nozzle is on. The next thing I'm thinking, the only next thing I'm saying, maybe I gotta press the trigger for the water to come out, maybe, I don't know. But if not, I think that the belt is either broken or the motor is messed up. That's my next step. That's the next step I'm thinking, okay? So let's see, all right? So let's put this on. Oh, shite. This is really no good at this point. This is what I mean. Ah, man, this is already dirty, so I really didn't want to mess with it. But look, you see this lock here? This is broken. So when you go back and forth using this machine here, it's not 100% because remember, you have this lock back here. See, you have that lock holding it in. But this is what you see that? This is what I'm thinking. So when you go back on the carpet, it might move a little bit. So let me see, floor, tools, let me see. Hold on. Does this move? Hold on. I gotta see what this is. Oh, you turn it. Okay. You turn it, okay. All right, so let's give this a try. Let's see if the next step on this guy, let's see if the next step is gonna be because we had to cover this, okay? If the brushes will turn on. Let's see. At least we know the motor turns on, all right? So I'm gonna tilt it back. All right, I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna try to squeeze the trigger. I'm gonna do everything I'm supposed to do and I'll see if the brush turns on. If not, then we got a problem down here, okay? Let's go, turn it on. Okay. All right, well, the water came out. The water is on the right below here, so the water's coming out. So the pump is working, right? So that's a good thing. but the brushes are not working. Wow. Well, all right, let's see. Let's see real quick. We probably won't have a whole lot of time to do this, but if I can quickly, you know, take it apart, I might be able to figure out what's going on. It might just be a belt issue, okay? So we're gonna pop this out, just kind of remove everything, right? I'm gonna lay it that way. I'm gonna lay it that way, guys. Now, yeah. Okay, so guys, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna continue the rest of this live, and whoever gave me the thumbs up, thank you for the thumbs up. I'm gonna continue the rest of the live in like 3 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna compare the two broadcasts, the way I'm doing it horizontally here, and the vertical version. Okay, but it's gonna continue. So the next is gonna be part 2. So it'll be still morning repair, Royal Shampooer part 2, and then we're gonna do that vertically, and I'm gonna see if that works. All right, so I'm gonna see. But for the rest of the guys, thanks for hanging out with me so far. We were able to see this little thing. I was able to give you a couple of tips that you could take away with you. All right, and we'll go from there. Okay, all right. But come back in about 3 minutes, and I'm gonna have a vertical version. I'm gonna see if how that interacts. Thanks a lot, guys. Oh gosh, look at that. That's the wrong camera. Yeah, I am all